Welcome to Manifest with the Chakras, everybody. If you are tuning in live, welcome, welcome, welcome. I have a really, really nice guest here today, Sonka. Sonka, she does like a lot of things with frequencies, chakra frequencies, and yeah, there we go. So here we go. And so Sonka's origins are in Slovak Republic when she left in the summer of 2005. Shortly after completing her master's in mechanical engineering, she embarked on a journey to the UK with one suitcase and a rucksack. Considering she couldn't speak the language, she relatively progressed through various roles from receptionist to in Scotland, an actual language crash course, to waiting staff, a restaurant manager, and a few others, eventually into what she studied, mechanical design engineering. She left the corporate world in 2023 to focus on her entrepreneurial adventure. One of Sonka's visions is to create a world where women are fearlessly connected to their essence and inner compass. Her Delicious You brand does precisely that by coupling intuitive movements with delicate connection to the subconscious mind. She guides ambitious female entrepreneurs to reach a state of unshakable self-trust and feel delicious. Ooh, that's so good, Sonka.
It is, and it feels good to be doing that work. So let's give world some information. What we are both actually doing with chakras. Yeah.
Tell me about chakra frequencies and what they do to us.
Yeah, the chakra frequencies. It's a funny one. I try to understand it a little bit more for quite a while, and I've got kind of my own engineering take on it, which I feel it's a little bit easier to explain what it is. So if you are working on the premise that everything is energy, and that we each of us have unique vibrations, so the chakras are also kind of their unique self, and each chakra, so you've got them actually behind me, they've got different colors, which means they vibrate in different frequency. So same like in everyday life, the colors we can see, every color has a different frequency. Red, orange, yellow. That's why we see them as the different colors. So basically, they are vibrating photons at a certain frequency, and that's why we see the colors or different colors. Obviously, the chakra, not everybody's got a gift of seeing them, but many people obviously did, and that's how they interpreted them into the colors. So the frequency shows as a vibration, and a vibration for some shows as a colors, but they still are in our body vibrating at certain frequencies. And each chakra has like their perfect range of frequencies. And that's with chakra movement and chakra dancing. That's what bringing those chakras into. So if they are a little bit out of balance, out of their frequencies, just like when you go to doctors and they check your blood sugar or whatever, they say, oh, it's within a range. So we know. So the chakras have their healthy range as well of frequencies. And that's what I'm helping women or men to kind of harmonize it back into. I use two ways. One is music, which is created by my amazing teacher, Lizzie. She is here in England, where I live right now. So I've got a music for each chakra with chakra frequency to harmonize it back to its best, to its optimum. And also I'm using frequency devices, which I bring to the sessions to help us to harmonize the chakras and harmonize the environment as well. So they are a little bit easier kind of molded back to their perfect and optimum state. So I hope that made sense. Any question, just ask. But that's my interpretation. When you go out, I'm sure, Supriya, you will have your way of looking at it, because you can see the chakras as well. So
yeah, I mean, I see the chakras in the 5D, like it's a completely different like take. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. And you have a pretty good background in mechanical engineering to be able to see the chakras in different ways. I always find the chakras to be more of an it is an energetic frequency. They are energetic frequencies, and we do have light bodies that we can resonate with within our bodies too. So it's fascinating that you are doing this chakra dancing. Can you explain a little bit more about that? That's so cool.
Yeah, I'll try. That's what I've been trying to do for the last 3 years now. But obviously, you are saying intuitive chakra alignment. My previous brand was Chakra Harmony. I only recently kind of rebranded into Delicious You to kind of capture what I'm doing in these sessions for women and with them. But yeah, it's an intuitive movement. It's a very intuitive movement. So dancing can be a little bit misleading, but chakra dancing is basically the company I trained with. And it's not like don't picture Zumba class or Arabic class or or cha-cha class. There is no particular. There are some indications how what's the best movement to kind of help the chakra to activate, to harmonize, to align. But it's very intuitive, and I think that's very powerful part of the chakra dancing session, that you are learning to listen to your body, how it wants you to move, rather to listen to the music and then move your body thinking this is how I want to move to the music. So it's in reverse. I'm very much bringing us women back into trusting our body. That's that unshakable self-trust. And I feel it very much comes from our body. So really tuning through each chakra. When we work through root chakra, then sacral, then solar plexus, and we are going up all the way to crown chakra. So, and it's different movement, different music. Obviously, music supports us, but very much I encourage women to move the way body wants them to. And sometimes when somebody comes to, but I have one girl especially, I just love her now. Well, I love to watch her, how she moves. But when she came into my first chakra class, chakra session, she literally just stood in the corner, hardly moved, because she just couldn't connect with her body. Now, when she comes to chakra class, I have to watch her so she doesn't take others down. She just takes space. She's everywhere because she trusts her body. She understands it. And now she really releases and works with her body. So the dancing part is very much free from movement, very intuitive, very much listening to your body, how it wants you to move to the music you are hearing.
Intuitively moving. I mean, here's the thing, like I saw like there was and I know we discussed this before, but there was like I think it was an Instagram reel that I saw where there was a woman doing what she called which was like more of a sacral chakra dance, like an African movement, where she was grounded into the earth, but she was like moving her stomach, almost like a belly dancing sort of way. Do you think like we intuitively pick those things, up in our bodies when we are working with those chakras, like that type of movement? That's I would like to say that's passed down from generation to generation into things like modern dance, so to say.
100%. I think the music in general doesn't matter, especially when you've got the drums in music. You just can't help it. Even if you're not dancing, you can't help but try to move to it. And I think it is. Our body knows music is frequency. So that there will be parts or in every single music. That's why we like some music that more than the other. Sometimes the music makes us emotional, sometimes makes us angry or irritated. So it is frequency and works with our light energy. It impacts us. So 100%, and I can see it in sessions that I put the music on, and people, before I even say what element the chakra is connected to, they intuitively go into, kind of closer to earth. For root chakra, when we come to solar plexus, there's a turning up to the sun, and so it is. You can obviously, the music is quite suggestive of, without even me adding narrative, what the expression is. So that helps. But yeah, I can definitely see someone who has no idea about chakras intuitively is moving into similar kind of positions or movements or whatever that is for each particular person.
Well,
So
and you might laugh at this, but there's a like I feel like there's if you go into the club, there's people like intuitively twerking, right?
yeah, no, 100%. It's in us, and it's in us, and that's another part I really love, because this is not something I need to install in people. Quite opposite. This is beautiful work to actually help women to remember it's in us, that all that intuition, all that kind of trust in our bodies, that wisdom, which we spend so much time in our head. And when we work on our life, on our businesses, when we work from our head, that only our mind only works with the information, with experience we already experienced, life we already been through. So we can't create anything new, because it's only taking information from past. So we are just recreating and reshuffling what we already learned. But when we tap into our body, the clarity, the new ideas, new perspectives, new realizations, women are journaling and then telling me about after. I just had a beautiful email from one lady. She is turning 50 next year in April. And she just emailed me how it helped her to change the trajectory, how she wants to lead her life after 50, and she only's been to 3 sessions. And it's not me coaching or anything. And that's the beauty of it, that you are getting this information from your body, from yourself, because nobody knows better but us what's best for us. So if we can start trusting it more and more, it's just incredibly powerful and liberating state to be,
Which I love
Very
that.
great.
I love it. Really is an empowering state to be when you free yourself. A lot of people don't know like the power of dance, I would also
Mhm.
say. 'Cause I used to dance when I was younger. And dancing, when you're a child, and we can go even way back, when you're a child, um, a lot of children dance and they don't really know that they're dancing. When you're a child, you're dancing, you're doing like all these things. But we lose that when we get older. We lose like that sense of self, that sense of play, right?
Mm,
That sense of play. And we do intuitively, I feel, tap back into that when
mm,
we do like things like intuitive movement, and things like all of these things where we're doing even yoga. Sometimes I do feel like it's a past life thing, with some of these things like movement and all that stuff, because I do feel like you may be a dancer, some people can naturally do a pirouette, things like that. But I find it fascinating that there's a lot of different cultures that have like similar movement
mm.
when it comes to things like the chakras and going through things like movement, and all of that stuff. Can you speak more about, like what can come up during these sessions? You know, you talk about like women journaling after these sessions, and of course we definitely don't have to talk about like what's super specifically that comes up, but can you give us like a general idea of what somebody like comes up with during these sessions with you?
Yeah, like, it's trip down the memory lane, really, because yeah, it's a journal. Actually, one of my friends calls the chakra sessions when she talks to someone about a chakra session. She said it's like journaling in motion. So it literally is journaling in motion through chakras. But like this, one lady is just a recent now in my mind, because literally I read the email before I came on about redirecting her business, what she's going to be doing, less of what she's going to be doing more of, after 3 sessions, realizing that actually she's not enjoying fully the life, and simply that's now not how she wants to live after her 50th birthday. I had people came to sessions with like whole list of all. They wrote down the list, what they need to do, how busy they are, how they feel, and it was as simple as that. Just message through the chakras at the end. It was like, I just need to chill. Just chill, Claire. Chill, Claire was literally the message. Then I've got people realizing that their body, they were not kind to their body, that they've got beautiful curves, they are very feminine, and really embracing it in that motion, and feeling themselves, how beautifully their body moves. They just started to, they said, I never loved my calves, and I realized how beautiful they actually are. So it's so different for each woman. And I can see, if I kind of generalize it, I can see there is lots of things coming up into conscious mind, which was in subconscious mind. Because as I lead women through the session, while music is playing, I'm very intuitive, so I can really feel the room, what the ladies in the room, because there's always a theme. The right people are in the room at the right time together, and I can really kind of narrate using neuro-linguistic programming. So basically bypassing our conscious mind and talking directly to their subconscious mind without hypnotizing anyone. It's just literally the use of words. And so I'm talking to their subconscious mind while the frequencies are working and while the movement is working. So it's several layers into these sessions. So they realize what is holding them back. They realize where they are, where they need more work doing. They realize what they've been telling themselves without even realizing for years and years and years. Or simply just kind of, we've got sessions when I literally feel that women just need, like you say, play. So we just go into the childish energy and you just don't give what everybody else is thinking. Just dance like nobody's watching, because nobody is. Everybody tends to close their eyes in these sessions and just really go in. So grounding, lots of grounding, because big part for me is the integration, as I said, coming back to yourself, because there is lots of modalities, and especially movement modalities, when release, let go, release, let go, and it's important, but there is not enough. Some of it can't be released because it's not ready. Some of it we just need to learn more from. Some of it, it's part of us and we just need to accept it. So in every session, or with each session, the women are coming more and more and more together as a whole, as a unit, with each other, but mainly with themselves, and feel more and more whole. And that's where that self-trust in themselves is, because they are picking those parts, accepting them, loving them again, integrating them, learning from them without reliving the emotions. That's one thing I don't do, whether it's one-to-one or a group session. I don't take people on a journey where they have to relive any experience. So we're just learning from those experiences through the subconscious mind. So yeah, it sounds complex, but it's just one beautiful kind of whole element,
Experience.
uh,
Yeah.
grounding and integrating. Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous. Like one thing that came up in my mind was so each chakra represents a certain thing, right?
Mm,
And for me, like the root chakra represents survival. It represents stability, it represents, it's a foundational chakra.
mhm.
Um, do you find that women maybe like maybe solve is not the right word, but maybe get a deeper look in what may be causing some of their financial troubles, like when you work with each chakra too?
Yeah, this is more when I work on one-to-one.
Okay.
So it would be, it depends what comes out, but finances are more on one-to-one. But also, having said that, even in a group session, just by harmonizing the chakras, and obviously root chakra being the seed of safety and security, but also it's never just one chakra, is it?
Okay.
It's never just one chakra.
Right.
So I find that combination, especially those three bottom chakras before it comes to heart, so it's the solar plexus, sacral, and root chakra. I think harmonizing those, and that's where we find that the women get more clear that they deserve financial freedom.
Mm.
Also, because of the solar plexus is I do chakra, they actually go for it. They take the action. And the sacral chakra is a chakra of rebirth and birth and creativity. And this is not only for childbearing, this is for anything we create. And as you said, the root chakra is the foundation, is the security, is the safety, but also tribe and ancestral lineage, because that's where we are connected to earth. So the root chakra is very, that's where I always start with root chakra. So it's important, but then having feel safe, then we can create. Because if body doesn't feel safe, we don't reproduce, and it's the same for whatever we are creating. So the root chakra is foundation 100%. And then sacral chakra, we can create, we can reproduce, and we can give birth to some amazing ideas. But how many times as women we've got these amazing ideas, but we're just sitting and there not doing anything. And that's where the solar plexus comes in, that fire, to get you out of the sofa and actually bring it to the world. So those three chakras for financial freedom, I feel are very important. Um,
I love that because, even though I do say the root chakra is very important for finances and wealth and all of that, it really is those three because they are, like you said, the most grounding of those chakras. They are really root. They are quote unquote rooted in those. And I always find they are rooted in those chakras, but I always find that a lot of people have blockages in those areas.
mhm,
And it's most likely a belief that they grabbed from when they were kids, or something that they heard. Let's take money for example, since we're on that topic. You know, when things like when our money story gets created, we have it comes it's usually a story that comes up when you're a child and there's never enough money in the house, and that affects the root chakra. And when we can even go into like which age those root chakras starts, like what ages those like
mm,
begins to, like from 0 to 5 and 5 to 9 and 9 to like 13, 14 years old. A lot of those are in the lower chakras, as you can see.
mhm.
So when we're talking about play, when we're talking about things like play, and we're talking about things like, you know, essentially brings us back to those chakras. It brings us back um, to those chakras. We're really, I feel like we're most likely talking about the root. Not the root, but maybe like the lower chakras too. And they really are connected. Um, do you find that, like, when you're working, and of course you do work with the chakras and they are connected, but sometimes, like, when we're talking about the heart, we can also be talking about the sacral at the same time, as well. Heart and sacral are connected, and sacral and throat, and we haven't even talked about really much of the throat yet. Do you find that, like, some of those not only connect, the sacral, like, and the throat connect, but do you find that, like, when you're doing the dancing, I don't even know how to do a throat dance. Do they just sing?
Yeah, with the throat, no, with throat chakra, obviously, it is. I always encourage, like, to tune into the body and see which chakra wants to contribute, because it's usually literally the bottleneck. When we clear those bottom chakras and then we come to heart, and there's the bridge. Heart chakra is the bridge between the top three and and bottom three chakras. So the throat chakra, and especially for women, I can see is literally the bottleneck of expression. It's chakra of our expression. So, and that's why it's very hard to tell which one is which, and we all have individually one chakra more impacted than the others. But also I found that it really depends on topic, as you say, and we learn everything about the world, and sponging everything, especially between age 0 and 7. So each chakra will be impacted for different topic, and that's why it's so important to work on them simultaneously, because there are you call them blockages. I call them, like, I feel about them like a dark places which we don't go to. So if the chakra we're talking is a light, is a frequency of light, so I feel like there are, when you've got a really bright beam of red or whatever color it is. If you're talking about throat, it will be beautiful turquoise, blue. But like when you kind of dim it, or when you kind of go behind that brightness, there are places which are not as bright and need kind of clearing or looking into and really giving attention. And that's where intuition comes in, what it actually needs to clear them, or as you can sense it, unblock it. So yeah, throat chakra is definitely a bottleneck for clearing all this and now express it. And as women, we've got massive. I don't know anyone who came into my session and at certain topics that the throat chakra wasn't really kind of giving them discomfort to dance through it.
Oh yeah, the throat chakra is like a really big issue, I feel, with a lot of women that I have seen. When I see chakras, I think that chakra, I don't know if it's ever been fully open, if I've ever seen it fully open. And it's because it's expression, there's this world makes it very hard to express, like, what we really feel, because we're afraid of, like, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear around things like, I don't know, cancel culture is the first thing that pops into my head. Being afraid of being canceled, being afraid of to express your opinion. Those things are some of the first things. But yeah, you're right. I've never really fully seen a throat chakra fully open. I've seen it like maybe 3/4 the way open, and there's a lot of people expressing things through their art and stuff like that. but not fully open to the way where, somebody is expressing it super freely. They're expressing themselves super freely. So
Mm.
that's always interesting to see. The heart chakra, I always find that one is that's almost explosive. That's too open.
Yeah, I feel I've got two. I'm sensing always into two things with heart chakra, especially with women. When I work with them, what I've noticed, there is one kind of frequency of the heart love chakra, which is obviously related to love, giving, which is very the front heart opening and giving love. But what usually stays in shade of that brightness is the back of the chakra, which is the receiving part.
Mm.
And I tend to work a lot with women on self-love and receiving, learning to receive, because I think it's and again it goes through whole chakra, all whole chakras, and specifically this can be connected to root and sacral chakra when we received intercourse which wasn't in alignment with us, which we didn't consent to fully, which we kind of didn't feel was right, but just we went through it. It can be ancestral, and it can be tribal, kind of passing down information through genetic, through the field. So the root chakra and heart chakra, the receiving part, is very very much impacted by our upbringing, by our tribal, by our ancestors. So that's the connection. So the receiving part, I didn't happen once that I didn't have a tears of kind of, those beautiful tears when you realize that you've got love for yourself first time. So
Mhm.
I've got that, and I love seeing them. I love seeing those tears in sessions, because when I connect these women with their own love for themselves and start opening the back of their hearts, and clearing that energy, that making them realize that they can receive and they deserve to receive, and it's completely okay to open up and receive. That's where the heart chakra feels like it's coming back into balance. Massive work, but yeah, is tipping it. It's tipping it, and then we can teach each other. And that's the beauty of what we're doing. That it's not just one woman in the class, or 30 women in the session, but once we help these, they can teach by example the others and the others. And I think there is more, we need more women in this world to kind of really set into that unshakable self-trust,
Yes,
and know what they want, and trust their bodies, trust their intuition. And this is one way to achieve it.
absolutely. I totally agree because, we we definitely have a little bit of I don't know, in our society, we just think that, it's not okay. It's not okay to like love yourself. It's not okay to like do a lot of this other stuff. It's becoming a little bit more acceptable to love
Mm.
yourself. It's becoming a little bit more acceptable to do all these other things. It's becoming a little bit more acceptable to do this. But, loving yourself, taking care of yourself, being selfish to yourself, putting yourself first. Um, I know in many South Asian cultures, that's seen as taboo. Women should always put themselves last, is what I was always told. You should always take care of everybody first, but women should always put themselves last.
Mm.
So, yes, we totally need to go into that back of that chakra and start receiving a little bit more.
Mm.
And I do know that in some parts of like South Asia, it's definitely seen as taboo for a woman to put herself first because you
Mm.
can't. Like you have to take care of the husband, the children, the household, all of this other things. What women putting themselves first? What is that? Like a woman shouldn't put herself first.
Mm.
So Yeah, that's it's total. Yeah, like, so there's a little bit of rewiring that happens. A little bit of rewiring. Even in Western culture, we see that too. There needs to be more rewiring where we can just start putting ourselves first a little bit more, and going into that subconscious mind and telling us ourselves to relax, and feeling our ways, and learning how to receive a little bit more, learning how to receive into our minds a little bit more. And so that, I feel, is totally beautiful. I want to switch gears, and talk a little bit more about the third eye chakra, because we
Mhm.
haven't really talked about that yet. Have you ever seen somebody like completely open up their third eye during one of your sessions?
I don't, as I said, I don't see chakras. I feel them. I'm more kinesthetic to them.
Right.
So I tune into person. Um, I've seen it once just after somebody came and had healing done on the third eye. So that was very prominent. This person was very open. Uh, but that's the chakra which I find that it's very easy to actually harmonize with people. I always surprises me that how quickly people can report back to me. I was like, oh my God, I could actually sense or see this information coming through the third chakra, because it's I know chakra, and it's connected to our intuition. It's connected to kind of where our path is intuitively taking us, and really kind of. But again, it comes from other chakras in harmony through the other chakras, so we can actually follow the path. We've got that courage. We've got that foundation. So once because I always work through from root chakra up. Once we get to that eyebrow chakra, people are quite open already. So in that state, in that state of openness in the session, they can connect to that eyebrow chakra very very easily. And also, I know we don't, but also it applies to crown chakra. But then going back to the world, and that's the challenge. Then going back to the world and going back to our head, our mind, rather than kind of third eye and that intuition. And the intuition, I'm pointing here, but intuition is whole body, is a whole body kind of response, isn't it? And that's why that movement is important to really tune into your body and understand what is it telling you at any given moment. So it's not focused here. But then very easily we go out of the chakra session, and they go back into head and to the drive mode, the very masculine, and forget about the rest of the body, forget about the intuition, or just simply don't have time to even sit down. It's like, what is my body actually telling me? So it's practice. And I know ladies who come often, they say it's like a muscle, that more regularly they come, more often they are coming, that more easier it is to come back to that alignment and to that intuition and to the third eye chakra, and to kind of realign the path and focus on lives which are and businesses. I work with business women, so that's how it aligns them back with their businesses, with their lives, which are resonating with who they truly are. And yeah, that's the harmony. That's the delicious part of it, when you really kind of
Connect with who you are, connect with your, inner being, your higher self. And oh my gosh. And you're right. You did mention something earlier. A lot of people are really connected. Nobody really knows that. And I feel like a lot of people also have that own inner power, which, people like us, we help people, we help them discover their own inner power, right? And a lot of people have their third eye already opened, and they just simply need to tap into it, and
be aware of it. Actually realize it, because many people think, oh, it's just someone special, and you've got this special gift.
yes,
Yeah, just remind them that we all do. We just need to learn to kind of tap into it.
it's so funny because I do live yes no readings on TikTok and stuff like that for fun, and a lot of people ask me on them, like, am I psychic? Am I psychic? Do I have like, I'm like, you know what? If you're asking the question, you're probably already having experiences that
Mm,
you most likely are.
mm.
So it's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny, like a lot of people have their own personal power. A lot of people have that personal power, and they're very unique and special in very many different ways, and they don't really realize it. And which is why I wanted to ask that question. Like, and this is more of a follow up too. How many people like you tune into, or when you feel those chakras, when you feel them? How many people do you see like just tap into their own personal power and you're like, and you know, this is more of a follow-up for that question, the intuit and the third eye, but how many people do you talk to that says, yes, I'm actually tuned into my own personal power now?
Well, every single woman comes to my session because that's the end result of it.
Wow.
Um, to maintain it, is a trouble, and that's why I need them to come back. And they
Oh,
come back for the top up because they can feel that when they are in that session, walking them and talking them through those chakras. So it's an hour session as minimum, an hour to an hour and a half. And whether it's a group session or whether I work one-to-one after the chakra dancing session, every single one, I know if I need to ask them something, I have to do it before we start chakra dancing, because at the end of the session, they are just so in their bodies, so in their zone. And when I say in body, their energetic body, really aligned and grounded into who they are, that they feel so home. They don't really want to talk to each other or to me. They just really want to stay in that state of, wow, I arrived. And everybody goes quiet at the end of the session, and everybody just takes their stuff and leave the room because they just don't want to disturb that incredible harmony, that sense of peace, and yeah. So every single session, that's the end. But then obviously we go out to the world, and that shakes us up again, and we kind of get distracted, and part of me is there, part of me is there, part of me is there, a million roles through the week. So coming back to it and coming back to it, and then more you practice it, easy it becomes to find that center of who you are, and come into that alignment. So yeah, to answer every single one in each session, which is really beautiful to see.
it is beautiful. And once, you know, when you realize your personal power, it's like, oh my God, I'm
Mm,
unstoppable. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah,
And
exactly. And they're just so ready to go and either deal with whatever they had to deal, or even realize that actually not my business. It's not my thing it's not my quest. I don't
right.
need to put energy to it, and just be okay with that. So it's literally, what do you need? What do you need to know? What do you need to receive at that particular session from that session? So yeah.
Yeah. And I love that because it's not exactly what you want, it's what you need. Correct.
Mm,
It's not exactly. And you know, a lot of the women I feel that come to me and even say like I need to get unblocked, they come to me for one thing, but then they leave with a whole different set of
mm,
tools that they didn't even know that they needed.
mm,
Right. I also had one woman come to me. She thought she knew that she needed to get unblocked, but she had no idea where she was blocked. She had no idea how she was blocked. You know, her heart chakra was completely blocked. Like it turns out she was getting energy vampires. Like she was allowing energy vampires, I should say, to come into like her, you know, and that's how I view it. When I view the heart chakra, her heart chakra was exploding, like going really outward, but it was actually leaking into her arms and, you know, into her shoulders and arms, which I, you know, that was a very, very big, like, flag to me, which I was like, oh, like she's kind of like allowing energy vampires to come into her life. And she's not necessarily saying no. She's not saying no. She's not saying, like, she's not putting the boundaries and saying no to people. um she's kind of allowing them back in. And with that being said, do you find, and I know that you have a lot of powerful experiences in this, do you find that some of these women, like, they carry stuff with them? They may have carried, like, and you can feel that they may have energy vampires or something on them, because I can totally feel and see them. And I wonder if you feel or see them the same way.
This is usually when I work with one-to-one. I
Okay.
tune completely different way into a woman. I don't try to do this in a group sessions because I just don't feel like that's and my energy doesn't even allow me. It's completely different way working with a group of women. But when I do work with one-on-one, I don't necessarily call them empires or anything. I don't see them as dramatic. Which is obviously nothing wrong with that. It just made me laugh. The use of words, but
It
I
is
do.
Halloween.
That's fine, what works for you. That's we get to show things the way we understand them, isn't it? So it's absolutely fine. Um, and but I do sense the entities. That's how I feel. It's an entity. So it's
Okay.
something attached to a particular chakra, or particular energetically, but I do actually see them as little creatures attached to either particular chakra or particular body part, which obviously and many don't realize that each chakra is actually guiding or end guarding particular organs. So the chakras, as you see them, it will be from the bottom of our body to the top. So you can see which, like a solar plexus would be stomach and things like that. So if anybody has like a digestive issues, like my friend recently, I can tune in with their permission into their energy field and kind of sense whether there is anything attached, which is the energy which is not supporting them. So that's one way I can and help them to clear through the movement, through my narrative, to help to clear, sense what that energy needs. Usually it's love, usually it's being heard, usually it's being kind of seen, so all these kind of so give the energy what it needs and let them go. Usually I work with lend. So I let these energies, I ask Mother Earth to kind of take these energies and take them with her. I've got kind of special relationship, I feel, with land, and so that's my way of working. So yes, to that. And when it comes to leaking energy, is slightly different for me. Leaking energy, it is those where as a women we are overdoing or over committing, over giving. And also, so that's for me, that's the leak of energy when we are not earning as much money as we would like to. We are leaking money somewhere, so that's leaking energy. We are being tired, that we are leaking energy somewhere. So that's how I would, so I look from the leaking point of view. I look at the outside kind of signs, as well as tuning into energy and feeling where woman is not as comfortable in herself, and therefore leaking energy to compensate for evaluation, for love, for doing, so working extra, because there is a need for some kind of evaluation. And I'm talking about women because that's mainly who I work with, because they seem to be more kind of aligned with this type of work. But we are same energetically, we are same men and women. So gender doesn't play a role in this, because the energy centers are as in women as in men. And I think it would be nice to do some more work on the masculine side of our population. But
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
but that's
Yes.
completely different topic.
Absolutely, absolutely. Men, I just feel like more men should be more involved in their chakras and being aligned and in tune with all of them. Because like a lot of them, because I actually have read men too. I've read men, male chakras too, and I think I see more often than not the sacral chakra is actually that's the sacral chakra is the one that's more overblown than the heart chakra, which
Mhm.
I always found very interesting. I actually told one man, you better be, you better look out for cockiness and attitude and things like that. It's so funny because he went on a date and like the girl called him cocky. He ended up calling him cocky, like in the
Yeah.
date because yeah, like because it was like yeah, you're working too hard from your sacral. It looks like your ego is not in check with your sacral. You have too much of a divine masculine. You need to balance out the feminine, which is what like I feel like a lot of men need to do. They need to balance that out.
Mm.
Um, so it's really I like how awesome would it be to see men come into this sort of space and say, yeah, let's heal together. Let's heal
Mm.
together and let's work together to heal and to balance out our energy so we can harmonize and synchronize together. How
Mm.
beautiful would that be?
Yeah. In the meantime, what we are actually doing, as we are kind of bringing this unshakable self-trust into women and grounding them into who they are and being comfortable and owning it and living it 100%. I think from there, when we step into our feminine power and allow men to be men as well, when there is a place for it, especially in relationships, I think that's the one way we can actually start balancing it back. Because the truth is that we've been living in masculine and we demasculated sometimes the men, and it is a little bit confusing for them where their place is at the moment. And so when I come home from working and working on my business or delivering workshops or whatever, when it's not actually related to chakras and not working with women, I really need that balance of coming home to my husband's arms and kind of letting him and encourage him to be the man to hold me, and kind of so I don't have to take a charge, don't even have to make decision what type of tea I want that evening, because he knows what I like. And so let him to allow him to be man. So, and again, if we can balance as women and be comfortable, 100% comfortable in who we are, we can allow men in our lives to be more what their role is here without
Yeah.
trying to hijack.
And right, exactly. You kind of nailed it. Like it's really important for women too to like be that safe space for the masculine,
Mm.
for the divine masculine, and the divine masculine can do their part as well. So it's important to have that sort of balance and that sort of nature. And like when we integrate ourselves, when we integrate our energies with that, like I just think that that type of work, if when we do that, it'll be super powerful. And
Mm.
like you, I actually do work with a lot. I think I don't know if I've read male clients before, but I have yet to have a
Mm.
one-on-one coaching client that's a male. So I would
Mm.
say my clientele with the coaching base has been all, like I would say all female. It's been all
Mm.
female.
Yeah,
So
and that's fine. One female at a time, and then one man at a time.
yeah,
It
exactly,
is what it
exactly.
is. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
and
they've got
it
a
is
more
open to men. It really is.
intelligent.
It is open to men for me.
Mm.
And it's just that it's just the way things are going. Like like it seems to attract women a lot more,
Yeah,
which is
and maybe they have their own ways of doing it, and harmonizing chakras may never be the way they will resonate, or hardly any of them, and that's fine. But I think they're just encouraging to kind of step up for themselves and just become equal partner on spiritual and energetic level as well, when they choose to, whichever way works for them. But it's definitely coming, and it's more and more men tapping into that world, which is great.
oh, awesome.
Mhm.
Well, before we go, like, what is one tip that you can give everybody right now, when if they want to get in tune with their own chakra frequencies?
I think just go quiet. Just really sit down with yourself, and or go for a walk with yourself, and just go quiet. And you don't even have to try to tap into chakras, because they are just there. They are just there. And it's just one way to work and harmonize your body. But I think just go quiet, and every time challenge your mind when your thoughts and your brain and your ego tries to take over and lead you. Just how my body feels, or if you've got a question, the beautiful way to practice this is, if you want some clarity, ask your mind, ask the question what your mind says, and then say, thank you, my mind. And then ask the question to your heart, and feel into what your heart is saying to you about the topic, and then thank your heart, and then go into your gut and ask the same question of your gut, because therefore you're addressing the part where the chakras are, as well. But again, it doesn't have to be even that complicated. Just ask your mind, ask your heart, and ask your gut, and usually it gives you some really good answer and clarity how to carry on. And it's just practice, like everything else. It's practice. It's like training a puppy, because mind has been there for you probably for years and years and years, taking care of all decisions, all everything what was there, keeping you safe. And now it's like you're asking your heart, well, I'm telling you this. No, I'm asking, I want my heart to know. So shh, you had your say. Now my heart, now my gut. And it is really lovely way and playful way to connect with your body. And the breath, obviously, comes with it. Just breath will take you into your body straight away.
Oh, breath work is amazing, and I do that every day, and it's so good. And I always tell people, like, if you can't another question I get asked on my live yes no readings is that, um what's the one how do I meditate? And like I just tell them, focus on your breath. Focus on your breath. That is how you meditate. Focus on your breath, and then just breathe in, and just, they say think about nothing, right? They say think about nothing, but just focus on your breath. So focus on your breath, and then breathe in and breathe out. So like I love breath work so much, and I love that you said that too. It's amazing. Um where can everybody reach you, Sanka?
Well, the best is on Instagram for Delicious You brand, that's for sure.
Okay.
And also, if I'm allowed, if anybody is interested and just a little bit curious, there is actually like a mini course, but it's Chakra Flow at Home. So it's lots of information about chakras I recorded, but there is a half an hour session I recorded when people can move through their chakras. It's 32 minutes, so it's beautiful daily practice. It's only £47, so it's really inexpensive, very affordable, and you can have me home if you like. So I'm happy to share the link if that's okay with you. Uh,
Absolutely.
on my Instagram, if you have any questions or you would like to work with me, and obviously I'll share the link if you're interested, and just having me at home for this half an hour session, and lots of beautiful printouts and everything about chakras, so you can start tuning into them in your
Oh,
own.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Yes. Delicious You. And what's the brand handle that's Delicious You?
It's delicious. U is triple U because delicious U was taken. So I just went for it. Yeah, but I will share it with you so you can share it with your audience.
Yes, yes. Delicious U with 3 U's. And oh my God, I absolutely love that, love that, love that. Thank you so much, Sonka. I
Thank you for having me.
appreciate you so much. This has been a very interesting conversation. I absolutely
loved it. Thank you very much for having me.
love it, love it, love it. And you guys, if you want to reach out to Sonka, you can do that. You can reach out to me as well. I have put all of my contact information. I also believe put down Sonka's contact information in the description box, but I'm going to put the Instagram link because I don't think I have that in there.
You might have had the old one. I literally rebranding, so there may be 2 floating about, but I'll email you the current one together with the link to the course if anybody wants.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, let's do that too. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Sonka, thank you for coming on and sharing your wonderful gifts with us.
Thank you very much for having me. It was really good fun. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys, and hi, Joanne. Just I didn't see Joanne here.
Hello. Yeah.
Hi, Joanne. Thank you guys so very much for joining. Appreciate it, and of course, see you guys on the next episode. Take care, guys.
And in the meantime, feel delicious.
Yes, feeling delicious. Bye, guys.